A popular YouTube personality is gunned down while driving through Chicago's Printers Row neighborhood. He's identified as Zach Stoner, known on YouTube as Zacktv.
History involving
Zach Stoner is wild.
While driving through Chicago's Printers Row neighborhood. He's identified as Zach Stoner, known on YouTube as Zacktv.
History involving a budding YouTube star from Chicago. Zach Stoner featured music and interviews on his shows, many highlighting young Chicago talent, along with an anti-violence message. So it was a shock to his family, friends, and followers when he was gunned down in the South Loop.
I'm getting and saw the video and everything else like that. How did you feel?
I felt like it was crazy, and whoever did this was some bitch ass nigga.
Yeah, I think I seen that video, that interview.
You know, he was at my show that night.
Nah.
I felt like it was crazy.
And saw the video and everything else like that. How did you feel?
I felt like it was crazy, and whoever did this was some bitch ass nigga.
You know, he was at my show that night. I had to end the show all Chicago.
On May 29th, 2018.
The final hours of Zacktv. Shout out the dose of mystery. That bit came out, man. Hit you with that like and the subscribe.
On May 29th, 2018. On May 29th, 2018.
Yeah.
Entrepreneur Chicago King Dave was prepping for a major event at Refuge nightclub in Chicago.
Yeah.
The lineup featured numerous local rappers. A showcase of the underground talent Zacktv had spent years documenting. By 8:45 p.m., the list of performers was finalized. But just minutes later, Zacktv called King Dave with a request.
Yeah.
He wanted his friend,
King Dave? Which Dave? Larry Dave?
Called King.
No, what am I saying? Larry Dave. I think I got that from 607 on. Y'all be saying Larry David. What, you talking about King Dave? Like who? Who am I think of? David, what's that? David Boxdale or some shit.
The request. Minutes later, Zacktv called King Dave with a request. He wanted his friend, AMG Fresh, to be added to the lineup.
Yeah.
King Dave made an exception, and AMG Fresh was allowed to perform.
So that's always on my mind. Like, damn, if he wasn't there, would he still be alive? And I just had to learn to, you know, it ain't your fault, you know, because Allah had a different plan for Zach. And it just took me some time after that. Like, I'm still affected by that. Like,
Zach arrived to the club to support and record AMG Fresh. Fresh had brought his girlfriend along. It was her birthday, and the night was supposed to be a celebration. As T Streets and AMG Fresh performed, Zach moved through the crowd, camera in hand.
You can tell ain't nobody was listening to T Streets.
And I'm like, bring them, you good. Gave them time, they came, showed up, left the show, something happened, and he ended up, you know what I'm saying?
Everything seemed normal until AMG Fresh took the stage. Zach overheard a group of men talking about AMG Fresh, pointing him out.
Well, that's him.
One of them said, "Isn't that the dude who beefs with the BDs?"
Yeah.
The conversation quickly escalated.
Quickly.
Zach realized the men were planning to jump AMG Fresh while he was performing.
Yep.
He went down there to really, you know what I'm saying, help folks them, you know what I'm saying, to promote what they had going on, and he overheard motherfuckers saying what they was gonna do to him. And he was stopping that shit. But a lot of motherfuckers don't know this. He stopped motherfuckers from getting on the stage and up Fresh performance.
Without hesitation, Zach stepped in. He talked to the group, convincing them to back off, de-escalating a situation AMG Fresh wasn't even aware of. But the energy in the club had changed. The night didn't feel right anymore.
Yeah?
Zach made the decision to leave early.
Damn!
Witnesses
Scary.
later said he looked uneasy as he walked out. After leaving Refuge, Zach went to his Jeep, planning to pick up AMG Fresh and get him out of there before anything.
Wait, so they left AMG Fresh inside, right? So protected him on stage, then left him
He
inside.
walked out. After leaving Refuge, Zach went to his Jeep, planning to pick up AMG Fresh and get him out of there before anything happened.
Yep.
He ain't here for that, you know what I'm saying? They was about to get on the stage and Zach stopped them like, please don't do this. People don't know this though. Zach left a little early before the show ended so he can be outside on the front waiting for Fresh. When Fresh came out, he was telling Fresh to get his ass in the car, but it was Fresh's girl's birthday.
Yeah, there's so much going on this day. What?
We can get through this.
There's so much going on this day.
When Zach found Fresh, he tried to get him inside the car immediately.
Yeah.
Zach was visibly nervous, showing Fresh his gun.
Oh,
A
man.
silent warning that they were in a bad situation.
Yeah.
But Fresh, unaware of what had gone down inside, was relaxed.
How's
It
he
was his
unaware?
girlfriend's
What?
birthday.
So did the goons threaten AMG Fresh through Zach?
And he wasn't in a rush to
Zacktv?
leave. Zach insisted, get in the Jeep. After some hesitation, AMG Fresh finally got in. His girlfriend and T Streets joined them. As soon as AMG Fresh got inside the Jeep, the men from inside the club noticed. They saw the car he got into.
No.
They now knew what vehicle to follow.
Exactly.
Zach drove 2 blocks away from the club, dropping off AMG Fresh and his girlfriend at their car.
Real quick.
Fresh's girl got out and switched to her own vehicle. Zach didn't immediately leave.
He got to the car. They made it to Fresh car and parked right in front of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Zach chose to let them sit in the Fresh girl was in the front seat. T Streets and Fresh was in the back seat.
What's his girl doing in the front seat? You never let your girl in the front seat. She always got to be in the back. Anyway, you got to get in the crash. She in the back. She's safe, kind of.
And she hopped out the car
From the airbag and everything.
Car and started it. And Zach chose to tell them the little shit that he was telling them right then and there instead of leaving. Zacktv Diez saving Fresh, bro. Okay.
He parked and explained everything that had happened.
They dropped him off. He dropped him off, and didn't he tell him what's up on the way to drop him off? Or they were just having too much fun that night?
Fresh, bro. Okay.
He parked and explained everything that had happened inside the club. He wanted Fresh to understand how close things had come to turning violent. Before Zach could drive away, a dark-colored minivan pulled up beside his Jeep. Gunshots erupted. The bullets ripped through the Jeep's windshield. Either AMG Fresh or T Streets fired back, returning shots. Zach was hit. One bullet struck him in the shoulder. Another hit behind his ear, lodged into his brain. His foot slipped from the pedal. The Jeep lost control, veering off the road and slamming into a pole.
Around 1 in the morning, police say a gunman in another car pulled up alongside Stoner's vehicle near Clark and Polk Streets. Multiple shots were fired.
The Jeep had crashed, but the shooting had stopped. T Streets and AMG Fresh.
Why didn't Zach bust back, bro? Didn't he have it with him? He had it on him, bro. Was he driving?
Clark
He was driving.
and Polk Streets. Multiple shots were fired.
The
So
Jeep
didn't
had
go to reach for nothing, yeah?
Vehicle near Clark and Polk Streets. Multiple shots were fired.
The Jeep had crashed, but the shooting had stopped. T Streets and AMG Fresh didn't wait to see what would happen next. They jumped out of the wreckage and ran to AMG Fresh's girlfriend's car. She was still parked nearby, and as soon as they got inside, she sped off. Up above,
That's
a bystander recorded the scene.
They left him like that. Damn, this was cold.
She was still parked nearby, and as soon as they got inside, she sped off. Up above, a bystander recorded the scene from a high-rise building.
A witness, several stories up, posted this Twitter video moments after the crash. It appears to show a group of people at the scene getting into another vehicle, then driving off before police arrived.
In the footage, the Jeep sat motionless, its front smashed against the pole. Zach was still inside, slumped over, alone. At 1:30,
they let Zacktv on his own after he got hit up? See, this is why I be scared to be with people, man. I'm telling you, man. Because they gonna, man, if something happened to me, y'all gonna leave me? Y'all ain't gonna call for help or none, wait for help? Even if you got
5 a.m.,
whatever on you.
Police arrived at the scene. They found Zach in the driver's seat, shot, unresponsive. Underneath his seat, they discovered his .40 caliber pistol.
Yep.
He never had the chance to use it. Zach was rushed to Northwestern Memorial Hospital. Doctors
and
fought
it had one in the head too. It had one in the head too.
His .40 caliber pistol. He never had the chance to use it. Zach was rushed to Northwestern Memorial Hospital. Doctors fought to save him, but his injuries were too severe.
Yeah.
At 4:20 a.m., Zachary Stoner was pronounced deceased.
15 minutes later, chick FaceTime me, showing me. They putting Zach on the stretcher, crying. Like, Zach? Literally was like a block and a half away.
Yeah.
I'm standing in the front, paying my DJs, like DJ Amaris. Yeah, me and DJ Amaris out there. I'm like, man, you get paid, they give you the money? I gave somebody else the money. He like, yeah, then we boom, 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 boom.
His final night had started with supporting a friend. By the end, he became a target. Had Zach just paid the price for trying to stop a fight before it even started? For a man who spent years documenting Chicago's rap scene, his passing became another tragic headline.
From me knowing Zach, and from everybody else knowing Zach, I ain't never heard of Zach to do no to nobody.
For real.
You feel me? So
like
I don't
cool
feel
guy.
like it's no reason in this world you should even want to do to Zach. Like Zach interviewed everybody.
It must have been an accident, huh?
In this world you should even want to do to Zach. Like Zach interviewed everybody, every hood. You see what I'm saying? Like he's cool with everybody, so I don't feel like, I just feel like, why would you want to do that to Zach?
On June 9th, 2018, Warner's Field Gatling's Chapel on Chicago's South Side. The air inside was heavy, thick with sorrow and unanswered questions. Zachary Stoner had spent his life documenting Chicago's streets. Now, he was being laid to rest. The crowd was so large that there was barely room to stand. For nearly 3 hours, people spoke of the man who had fearlessly given underground voices a platform. Zach wasn't a traditional journalist. He didn't work for a newspaper or sit in a newsroom. Instead, his newsroom was the streets of Chicago, where he built his legacy as one of the first true street journalists surrounding drill culture. In 2010, he launched his YouTube channel, Zacktv 1. Zacktv helped shape the way the world saw Chicago's drill scene. Before record labels and journalists.
Yeah, I want me to be honest, I don't think I've ever seen any of his interviews. Oh, actually, that's BS. This interview right here. Definitely. What? The Chief Keef exclusive first interview. No way. Y'all want to see me react to that?
This flock.
Nah, I'm playing. I already seen it.
To the city. Zach was already sitting down with future stars Chief Keef, Lil Durk,
yep, definitely seen that one.
FBG Duck.
Yep, seen all three of them. Y'all let me know in the comments. Y'all seen them interviews?
Giving
the Lil Durk one, FBG Duck talks working with these ops. Plus says real as ever.
some of their first real exposure.
You know, niggas shooting camera in Chicago. RIP Zacktv. You know they.
RIP. I was about to mention that. RIP Zacktv. Real good dude, man. Did you guys have a relationship?
Yeah, his dad did my first interview.
He did your first interview?
Yeah, he came to the hood, did it late night.
Yeah.
In his research, Dr. Morrison identified a paradox.
Y'all must have kicked it, huh?
Through his lens, the world got a first-hand look at the drill movement, straight from the source.
Literally.
But Zach's work wasn't without consequence.
Yeah.
He was really in it, walking through neighborhoods where cameras weren't welcome. Talking to people who lived by a different set of rules.
Yeah.
His interviews sometimes featured artists throwing up gang signs, issuing threats, or speaking on street politics. Things that could,
in other words, dissing.
and did have real-world consequences.
Zach was big on safety. If you know Zach, you will know that he big when it come to being safe.
You gotta be. You gotta be cautious. Not big on safety. You gotta be cautious.
When it come to being safe.
Real-world consequences.
Zach was big on safety.
Hey, man.
If you know
Don't
Zach,
get up out of
you
here,
will know
man.
that he big when it come to being safe. When he first came to the Gardens, you know, that's all he did was heard about what was going on out there in the hood. Like, he never did an interview in the Garden. So he asked me more than 5 times, is I'm straight? Is I'm gonna be safe? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, he big on safety.
Some called him reckless. Others called him a hero. But everyone
big on
knew
safety
one
or just
thing.
scared.
Zach was fearless.
There's a difference between being cautious and being scared. Most people is just scared, you know what I mean? Like, they'll do something if anything was to happen. But even in that situation where he got hit, he didn't even shoot. Move! Get off my laptop, man!
He received death
What you doing,
threats.
bro?
He kept going.
Go, man!
In interviews, he admitted that he knew the risk. He knew that by filming certain people and received death threats, Zach was fearless.
Yeah.
Even when he received death threats, he kept going. In interviews, he admitted that he knew the risk. He knew that by filming certain people and covering certain stories, he was putting himself in danger. But he believed in his mission to tell the truth, no matter the cost.
Really?
I feel like he is legendary as hell. Cause like this, he pulling up to any environment. Like, he ain't giving no, like, he ain't got just a cool who wanted to put the shit
Move,
on.
man.
That's all he was.
Stay away, I'm eating,
But
bro.
eventually, that cost would finally catch up with him. When Zacktv Stoner was hit, the impact rippled far beyond Chicago. Street journalists around the country took notice. For many, Zach's hit was a stark reminder of the risks they were taking every day.
Yeah.
Sean Cotton, the creator of Say Cheese TV, knew Zach personally. He had always understood the danger of their work.
He knew him because they probably related, bro. It looks like Zacktv.
But after Zach's passing, his perspective changed.
Talked about, because remember you had that pink Corvette.
Yeah.
They used to drive around, and you got rid of it after his murder.
Yeah, I got rid of that, man. I got rid of it. And then I stopped doing outside interviews too. You don't catch me really doing vlogs too. That's the dumbest thing I've ever done.
Zach understood.
Get out of here, bro. That can't be the dumbest thing you ever did because it got you the way you're at. So if may as well call yourself dumb then. If you know what I mean? If you call them what you did to get to where you're at dumb, then you may as well call yourself dumb because you chose to do that. Don't forget.
That some degree of
Nobody
danger
came and forced you and said go that. You seen you had some money in it, and then yeah, you picked up a camera.
makes more compelling.
Your big head.
As does Cotton. That some degree of danger makes more compelling videos,
Literally.
boosting viewership.
It's the same with when you go and chill in certain different places, you know what I mean? You get a different vibe, you feel me? Get a better buzz, whatever, man.
With its homicide numbers and depth of hip-hop talent, Chicago was fertile ground for stories, more compelling videos,
See, that's the real marvel.
boosting viewership.
That's the real
With
jelly
its
bean.
homicide numbers and depth of hip-hop talent, Chicago was fertile ground for stories.
Yeah.
But far from the lauding gangs, Stoner would encourage them to have unity.
Yeah.
We hit one another for some stupid things. We gotta be smarter than that, y'all.
For sure.
He said in one video. But he was also empathetic. Zach wasn't in a gang.
We gotta be smarter than that, but smarter than that how? Like, what do we have to do?
Raised in gang territory and knew the culture well. His home was within Goontown territory, a neighborhood where the streets dictated the rules, and survival often depended on knowing them. According to police, Goontown and the Perry Avenue crew were locked in a long-standing rivalry.
Because I was doing DVDs before Vlad TV, and you can look it up. There was guns on the camera. It was like, what if one of those just went off accidentally?
Oh, I ain't never seen that.
Both were factions of gangster disciples.
Go off how? From what? Come on, man. Most of the people know how to control that. Unless it's like a, what?
But alliances in Chicago's gang landscape didn't always extend beyond a few blocks. For years, the two groups exchanged threats. Not just in the streets, but through rap videos, lyrics, and social media posts. Zach understood this world, but he never joined a gang.
Yeah.
He stayed neutral, but in neighborhoods like his, even neutrality could be dangerous.
When we come to high school and talk to the kids, Corporate was there, and Zacktv, 4 of them, they was all there. I go there to motherfucking talk to the kids. Zacktv come there.
Reckless.
I tell Zach, I might say, Zach, it's at a different level now. You need to start elevating your shit, bro. This what you need to do, bro. Business-wise, you need to get one location, bro, and make us come there for an interview, bro, and expand your fucking brand, bro. I'm telling you, bro, just like all the majors are fucking doing.
Yeah, man.
Like, all right, you right. All right, you like, and then said he still pulling up on it.
Zach told the Chicago Defender newspaper in early 2018
kept pulling up on
that
people even after Reckless told him, don't go, man, don't go. And you know what I mean? Sometimes when people tell you it's your time to stop, it's your time, it's you're elevating, take that as a sign to do things differently. Don't just listen to it and be like, oh yeah, you're right, and then just keep doing whatever it is you want to do. No, take that as a sign to, oh, maybe if I want to continue this or continue the constant growth, I gotta be innovative. I gotta get creative.
Young black men he interviewed were stuck in this box. They wanted desperately to escape. Despite tough exteriors, that the young black men he interviewed were stuck in this box. They wanted desperately to escape. Despite tough exteriors that are obligatory in their worlds. Some believe.
See, doing that actually get you smoked. Like putting your hands around, putting your arms and your hands all over somebody like that. Overly showing love, yeah, that'll get you smoked.
That Zach had gotten too big. That his growing influence, his rising wealth, and the power of his platform had created enemies he couldn't see coming.
Literally. Come on.
His friends urged him to leave Chicago.
You thinking you should, everybody watching it just only from Chicago? No, you gotta remember, like, people watching it from all over the country, maybe all over the world. Well, not maybe, for sure all over the world. What you talking about?
Oh. But they knew he never would.
Backstage.
Enemies he couldn't see coming. His friends urged him to leave Chicago, but they knew he never would.
Backstage, Zach stayed strapped. He stayed strapped. You know, me and him spoke a lot, and yeah, he mentioned that a lot. That he was always prepared. He knew what he was getting into, but he was such a loving guy, and he didn't really stir up mess like that. Like, that hurt me for a long time.
He did. What you mean? It was hanging with click to click. You think that doesn't do something? That doesn't make people feel like, man, okay, you're part of it because you're promoting it. Anybody who's promoting it, it's ABG for anybody who's promoting the pressure.
Who had also spoken with Zach about the dangers of their work, now received weekly death threats. One message after a controversial report read, "We're going to do you like we did Zach."
Okay.
After ZacktV's hit, Rumors spread quickly in the streets, and soon, whispers started circulating. Had AMG Fresh and T Streets set Zack up? The theory was based on one simple fact. They survived, and he didn't. Some believe that AMG Fresh and T Streets had lured Zack into a trap, making sure he was vulnerable when the shooters arrived. They were in the car with him when the shooting started. They were in the car
with him. That's like some Tupac conspiracy type thing. Like, no, I don't agree with that. They couldn't have set him up. They're in the whip with him, bro. How they gonna set him up, bro? When people came and fired at him. You know what I mean? They got hit. And let me listen to this.
They fled the scene. Zack was left behind. The accusations gained traction.
Oh yeah, that completely went over my head. She says, "Oh, you gotta listen sometimes." Yeah, see what I said earlier in the video, straight up. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Maybe they could have set him up because they ran away. They didn't wait for help to come.
Because of how they escaped. In surveillance footage, they could be seen jumping out of Zack's crashed Jeep and running to AMG Fresh's girlfriend's car before speeding off. To many, it looked suspicious.
Literally.
Why had they left Zack behind?
Australia's cost of living pressures can be explained
You can't say you're
easily.
scared. Look how you guys ran back to the car. You ran back to the car like y'all could have waited.
Soared, but workers' wages barely moved.
For the ambulance, literally.
Did they know something was coming?
Mm-hmm.
Or had they just panicked and done what anyone else would do? Run for their lives.
Literally.
The cameras caught Zack in a flurry. According to these reports, Zack in the flurry is they see Zack in an altercation in the club. He get in an argument with people in the club, all kind of shit, then he loses his life. The reason nobody knew, because everybody, it's strong with the shut your mouth. Chicago backdoor is hell. That's dangerous as hell. That irritates me to know that Zack helped everybody and nobody gonna stand up for Zack. I ain't saying go tell.
Zack need to stand up for Zack.
The same day Zack was laid to rest, another man was hit. Thomas T. Streets Davis, one of Zack's closest associates, was gunned down.
Literally.
T. Streets had been there.
T. Streets shot and killed in Chicago, rumored to having Zacktv set up. Oh, thoughts and opinions. From what? Oh yeah, the guy.
Zack's closest associates was gunned down. T. Streets had been there the night Zack was hit. He had been one of the passengers in Zack's SUV.
Yeah, got another one of them pictures where he overly putting his hand on him, his arm on him. Like, come on, man, what kind of nigga? What kind of person is you? What kind of man is you? To always be, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta have some pictures where you. Like, look at the other guy. The other guy just, you know what I mean? He damn near want to put his hand, he think got his hand in his pocket.
When the shots rang out on May 30th. But instead of staying at the scene, he ran. But others questioned it. Some believed it was connected. Ran. But instead of staying at the scene, he ran. But others questioned it. Some believed it was connected, a warning, a message, or unfinished business. Others saw it as another tragic example of the reoccurring cycle in Chicago.
Unfinished business.
But the timing was tough to
They came to smoke somebody, ended up smoking somebody else. Or maybe they might have tried to come and clear the whole place up.
Was T Street's hit connected to Zack's? To AMG
The hood CNN is dumb.
Was T Street's hit connected to Zack's? To Was T Street's hit connected to Zack's? To AMG Bell D, the rumors around ZacktV's passing were as false as they were dangerous. And as AMG Fresh's brother, he had a personal stake in setting the record straight.
Okay. A lot of people don't know that Zacktv was really at the event, really T Streets and AMG Fresh. You know what I'm saying? That's why he was.
Really, what?
Record straight.
Okay. A lot of people don't know that Zacktv was really at the event, really T Streets and AMG Fresh.
Am I hearing that right, bro?
No stake in setting
we can scratch the whole video if I'm hearing
the
that
record
right.
straight.
Okay. A lot of people don't know that Zacktv was really at the event, really T Streets and AMG Fresh. You know what I'm saying? That's why them was the only two artists he recorded that night. You know, he didn't care about who else was there. He was trying to build.
Hold on, we can't go over that.
Record straight.
Okay. A lot of people don't know that Zacktv was really at the event, really T Streets and AMG Fresh. You know what I'm saying? That's why them was the only two artists he recorded that night. You know, he didn't care about who else was there. He was trying to build with them. He was so focused on the hundreds and the artists in the hundreds that he didn't even give a.
One more time, yeah.
The record straight.
Okay. A lot of people don't know that Zacktv was really at the event, really T Streets and AMG Fresh. You know what I'm saying? That's why them was the only two artists he recorded that night. You know, he didn't care about who else was there. He was trying to build with them.
Really
he was so focused on the hundreds and the artists in the hundreds that he didn't even give a about a lot of artists. Like when it come to pushing their music, he was really they was a team. AMG Fresh.
They might have said effing with them. He was effing with them.
And T Streets.
In an interview, he dismissed the accusations outright, saying that Zach, AMG Fresh,
he look like Tony Yayo, the one to the right. The one to the right look like Tony Yayo.
And T Streets were a team. According to Bell D, the streets just wanted blood. After Zach's hit, people were looking for someone to blame, and AMG Fresh and T Streets became easy targets.
Yeah, man.
The streets way heavier than this rap, this internet shit that motherfuckers be doing. You know what I'm saying?
Always been like
street
that.
Shit, like, and when it come to street shit and you lose a motherfucker like Zacktv, ain't nobody from his hood really trying to hit shit.
By 2019, police had interviewed 5 individuals, all between the ages of 19 and 22, and all connected to the Perry Avenue gang. Surveillance footage, eyewitness accounts, cell phone location data, and ballistics evidence placed them at the scene, leading to their arrest. For many who had followed Zach's work and the details of his hit, it seemed like the case was finally on the verge of being solved. The suspects had been taken in, and it was only a matter of time before they faced justice. But that moment never came.
Why?
Despite the arrest, the Cook County State's Attorney's Office refused to press charges. The decision was based on what they call a mutual combatants situation, a legal principle arguing that if both parties willingly engaged in street conflict, it may not be considered a straightforward homicide.
Oh my God.
It was people charged with that.
I wonder why them fools out in Chicago catching bodies. Oh.
Death, but they let them go. They said this was mutual combat.
The prosecutors suggested that Zach's hit could have been part of an ongoing street conflict, one where all sides had played a role. But did that mean that...
they just gonna let the streets be the streets where the Ricos at? They didn't even have no Ricos back then, yeah? No, they must have, bro.
No gang-retaliated shooting could ever be prosecuted? Because you didn't know who shot first?
Exactly.
For Chicago police, the case was effectively closed. The investigation had produced suspects, but without the backing of the state's attorney, there would be no trial, no conviction, and no justice for Zacktv. Officially, his hit remains unsolved. Zacktv was a highly respected and beloved member of the Chicago community.
Yeah, man.
He will be missed. Rest in peace, Zacktv.
Rest in peace, Zacktv.